Hello, people. Welcome back to E20ZoneTv. It is Tuesday evening. We're halfway through the week, near enough. Well, we're getting there. And the topic of conversation tonight is Coufal or Johnson. Who is your man of choice? For me, it's a weird one. It's a strange one for me. Johnson was playing very, very well for West Ham until he got that injury against Chelsea, and it just derailed him a little bit. But Coufal has fallen off the edge of a cliff really badly over the last sort of 5 games, I'd say. He's been all over the place. Leeds, he was all over the place. On Sunday, he was all over the place. And yeah, I just don't know what's happened to Vladimir Coufal. Like, it'd be interesting to know everyone's thoughts on that. If you're new around here, please do subscribe to the channel and please do like the video. It goes a long way. Football and Music says Johnson over Coufal, mate. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think it's time for Johnson to come back in, if I'm honest. I really do mean that. I think Johnson, defensively, I don't think Johnson's all that. But going forward, I think Johnson's pretty good. Coufal defensively was really good, but he's just hasn't got the pace. And that is a worry for West Ham. We've got 2 fullbacks on left and right who have got no pace about them whatsoever. Not one. Like Cresswell on the left-hand side, for how good Cresswell whips a ball in and crosses balls into the box and corners and free kicks, etc. You put pace against Cresswell, he gets exposed. And it proved it the other day with Coufal on the right-hand side. For me, Coufal got absolutely destroyed by Harvey Barnes. I think they must have looked here at half-time. And that's the second time now, in recent weeks, that their sort of left-sided player has come over and just absolutely rinsed him big time. Like, it proved it against Leeds when they put up Jack Harrison against him, and Harrison goes and gets a hat-trick. And when Harrison hasn't scored a goal since, I don't think. So, yeah, it says it all. It really does. Jay Woods says, hi, James. Has to be Johnson for me. Coufal doesn't look at the races and no pace, which is killing us. Totally agree, mate. Couldn't agree any more with that. I like Johnson. I do. I like when he goes forward. I like the pace factor. His end product is a bit, dunno, sometimes. Hot and cold. But if you go back to sort of October, November time, when he was playing in Europa League, he played against Everton away, Spurs at home, Villa away. Ben Johnson was very, very good for West Ham. Very, very good. Then he got that injury, and I just think it gives Coufal the chance to come back in. But Coufal just hasn't looked the same player. He really, really hasn't, which is a shame. What's wrong with Ben Johnson anyway? I didn't see much of him lately. Your guess is as good as mine, mate. For me, I just think it's name over like format at the minute with Coufal. I think Ben is very, very unlucky not to be playing, if I'm honest. Like, especially after a couple of the performances that Coufal's put in. And then, but what it is, you go and put Ben Johnson on the left-hand side and make Ben look bad. Now, we all know as fans that Ben Johnson's not a left back; he's a right back. I think Ben Johnson should be the right back at West Ham. I think Coufal's good, but in certain games, he gets massively exposed. Really, really, really does. So if you're playing Coufal against a Burnley or someone, I think he can do a great job for you, or Watford, for instance. But against Leicester, they absolutely ruined him, and that's a couple of times now that Coufal's just not been at the races. Now, last season, Coufal was my player of the year. Like, I thought he was excellent. People said Souček, some people went Coufal, but I thought Coufal was absolutely first class. But this year, he's been sent off against Arsenal. He's been all over the place against Leeds. Leicester, he was all over the place. There's been other games where he's been iffy, to say the least. Do you know what I mean? So for me, Ben really has to come in there. There's no two ways about it, especially against Newcastle. I think Ben Johnson deserves a chance to come back into the team and express himself. But the problem is, Moyes is very, very stubborn. He's very, very stubborn in his approach. But I don't know. Put your thoughts in the chat, what you think. I'd like to hear them before I wrap. It's been weird what's happened to Coufal and Souček. They looked great last season. I think it's to do with the Euros. I think, myself. I think West Ham had a great season last season with no fans. Got to European football. Then it was the Euros, and then straight after the Euros, they was back in it again. And I think they just burnt out. If I'm being truthfully honest here, I just because for both of them to be lacking this season, it says a lot for me. So when you look at Coufal and you look at Souček, they're just different people. Like Souček on Sunday was very, very poor. Like in my opinion, I thought our midfield got absolutely ruined by theirs, and Tielemans run the show for them big time. But it's an hard one. It is an hard one. I like them as players, but are they cutting it at the present? No, they're not. They're really not. Let's have a look. What else you got here? I think teams are going to target Coufal as a weakness. St. Maximin will destroy Coufal if it has to be Johnson. Totally, utterly agree. That is the reason why I think Johnson's got to come in. I think if St. Maximin goes up against Coufal, he will absolutely blitz him all day long. St. Maximin's a talent, and he don't have to do a lot to get past you. And the problem is with Coufal, he was up against Harvey Barnes, and Harvey Barnes isn't exactly a well beater, and he hasn't been playing great for Leicester this season, but absolutely ripped him to shreds. But the question that needs to be asked is why isn't Johnson coming in? Like, do we all sit here and say, you know what? Can you see Moyes changing it on Saturday? I don't think he does. I think if Coufal plays on Saturday, that is just the most stubborn move going. Especially if you know that St. Maximin is going to be there. And the problem is with St. Maximin, he loves to score against West Ham. Like, he's a nuisance. He's a pest, and that's the problem. But when I look at Johnson as a sort of counter argument, what does Johnson do better than Coufal? Well, first of all, he's got more pace than Coufal, so he can catch up and he can deal with pacey sort of wingers, so to speak. What else can he do? What I do like about Ben Johnson is he's very forward thinking, whereas Coufal seems to cut inside quite a lot and check back, whereas Ben will get the ball straight up the line and look to get ball straight in. I think it's very, very harsh that Ben hasn't been back in his team sooner, and he should be back in his team at the weekend. And if he isn't, then for me, like, Moyes is asking for trouble if you're going to put Coufal in there. And it's a shame with Coufal. It really, really is. As a fan of his, I've liked him since the moment he arrived. I think he's got that sort of Julian Dix type attitude, Thomas Repka type attitude. But I don't know what's happened. But this year, I think he's had COVID. He's had an injury. He's just not been the same player. He really, really, really hasn't. He looks like a £5 million player. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas last season, he looked like a £35 million player. Hopefully, he can get back to being the £35 million player, because I thought he was excellent last season. But this season, he just has not cut at all. What we've got here? I have a feeling Moyes will go five at the back. I don't think he does, mate. If you want me to be truthfully honest, if he goes five at the back against Newcastle, then he's just setting up negative. I think he'll play the standard 4-2-3-1 system. For me, like, Coufal has to come out at the end of the day. Like, he's been subbed now a couple of times in games. I can't remember. There was a game before. Someone can tell me in the chat, but I think he got subbed halfway through a game before. Like, he got sent off at Arsenal, but just before Christmas. And for me, it's a shame with Coufal. Like, both the Czech boys have looked miles away from where they were last year. Now, like, the problem is with Coufal is he's had rest, so to speak, because he's been out injured. Like he's been out injured, he's been suspended, so he's had more rest than Souček. So that's not really an excuse with Coufal. But for me, yeah, I agree with everyone in the chat who said about Ben Johnson. I just think Ben's the man, really. Do you know what I mean? He's the one who deserves a start. And let me ask you this: do you think Ben should be the permanent starter at right back? Because at present, I think Ben should be. I think games this season, Ben Johnson has been very, very established at right back. He's not the vintage defender. Don't get me wrong, he's not. But he's not exactly the worst defender. Like, we've got 4 right backs on our books at West Ham United. We've got Coufal, Fredericks, Ashby, and Johnson. Now, Ryan Fredericks is not for me. I'm sorry, but the sooner he's gone, the better. Ashby, I do think's a talent, I must admit. And you've got a toss-up between Coufal and Johnson. Now, for me, when I look at Johnson, I think Johnson's ready made to play right back. I think he's got all the attributes of a Premier League right back at the end of the day. So it's an interesting one. Jay Woods says Coufal last season was getting loads of assists. Not really seeing that this season. Yeah, good shout. Good shout, Jay Woods. For me, too much hesitation with Coufal. Right, he used to get the ball, whip it in straight away. But then last season, was we a bit more attack minded? Like when I look at our attack on Sunday, you take Jared Bowen out of there. What did our front 4 really do? Like Jared Bowen was excellent as per usual. Antonio was non-existent, and Lanzini and Fornells they was there, but they didn't do nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it's an interesting one with the assists because both sides the assists counted last season. Cresswell on the left, and we did miss Cresswell as on the left-hand side. We did when he was out for that large spell from November up to the new year and middle of January, I think it was. He come back. We did miss Cresswell because he's a different outlet, but their weaknesses and both of them's weaknesses is pace. We have got no pace in our backline other than probably Diop or Zuma, which is a bit of a worry. So when people play balls over the top, we get exposed massively. But it's an interesting one. Let's see what we've got here. Chris Harris must be a new subscriber. Thank you, mate. Hello, mate. I just said on Gio's video about Trippier. Should have got him. Would have broke the wage structure to get him, but he should have got him. Yeah, he's another player though, mate, isn't he? Like he's that sort of outlet. Like look at his set pieces. He's out now though. I must say he's out with a broken foot, which is a bit of a boost for us. But I've got to admit, we should have been going out for a left back, especially. I think right back. I think we've got enough cover there. Like we've got 4 right backs at this club, and like it was an interesting one on Sunday. Why Fredericks come on? Now, Ben Johnson's not slow, but Fredericks, for how fast Fredericks is, he can't defend. So it's like square pegs and round holes with West Ham at the minute. But like for me, Ben Johnson, I've liked Ben Johnson from the moment I first saw him play his first game for West Ham. That was away at Manchester City, and we lost 1-0. I think Aguero scored the only goal of the game, and he was excellent in that game. Like his debut, he was fresh, he was up for it, and I think Ben's getting better, right? But Ben will play a couple of games, something can happen, and then you get shipped out. Now, as you just say about Trippier, then I make you 100% right. Trippier's a talent, like he's a talented footballer, but that's the difference. If we're just going off topic quickly, that's the difference between an ambitious club in Newcastle who are fighting to stay up and striving for bigger things than West Ham. Now West Ham have like got people who are at right back, Fredericks being one, who's just not good enough as a right back. Do you know what I mean? If you want to go and put him as a right winger, then yeah, again, he's square pegs in round holes. But yeah, listen, for me, when I look at other sort of players, like in that sort of right back position, even Ashby. I think Ashby's a talent. I really, really do. I like Ashby a lot. I think I've seen him a few times now. I've seen him in the under-23s. I think this kid has got it all. He's got the pace. What I like about Ashby from the times I've seen him is he's always forward thinking. It's always a forward pass. It's never a sideways or back pass. I think what it is with Coufal, he's defensively, Coufal's pretty good, but getting up the pitch, he's not. Takes him, like, he strives up the pitch, but it takes him a long time to get there, sort of thing. Whereas, like, with Harrison Ashby, I like this kid. He's got a good cross. He's always forward thinking. His passing's pretty good. Defensively, I don't know how good he is. I haven't seen him really defensively, but he's a talent. He really, really is, Ashby. I've got to say that. What we've got here. Chris Harris also says, I agree a left back 100%, but clever clubs just take advantage of situations. Yeah, I agree. The left-hand side is a major issue at West Ham. It really, really is, because, as I say, with Cresswell going out, we looked all over the gaff. Really, really did. We're putting Fredericks there, we're putting Ben Johnson there, we're putting Masuaku there. And we all know that none of them players I've just mentioned are proper left-backs. Like, Masuaku's not a left-back, and anyone who thinks he is, I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're seeing. Fredericks isn't, and Ben Johnson isn't. Ben Johnson, I think, really does get a bit of bad press on that side. And I've always said that since last season. When he played last season against Newcastle away, and that famous 3-2 loss when really that was the game that killed our Champions League hopes deep down. And Dawson got sent off. He got absolutely criticised for playing left back. And he's not a left back, he's a right back. And yeah, again, it's just a club, isn't it? It's always a way. I'd rather see Ashby on the pitch than Fredericks, who has no future at the club. I totally agree, Chris. I really, really do, mate. As I say, I can't praise Ashby enough. And if anything, if Fredericks' contract isn't renewed, which I don't think it will be, I think he's going to run his contract down. He's going to leave on a free in the summer. I want to see Ashby next season in this team at some point. Do you know what I mean? If and have like 3 right backs at these clubs, I do think Ashby's a talent, mate. I think Ashby could be better than Coufal and Johnson put together. I really do. So yeah, I like Ashby. I really, really do. But I thought I'll just do this quick video and see what everyone's thoughts are on that issue. Obviously, Saturday we have Newcastle, and they're going to have St Maximin, and we have got no pace. So I think Johnson needs to come in. I really, really do. I like Ben, as I say, and I think Ben needs to come in now towards the back end of the season now, because we're going to need him against these teams who are pace merchants. All right. Newcastle got some frightening good players. Then the next game after that's Wolves. They're going to have some decent, fast players. I just don't think Coufal's up for it. I really don't. I think Coufal needs to realise that we need him on the ball 100%. And let's be honest, I'd like to put this into the chat to everyone. When was the last real good game that Coufal played for West Ham this season? I can't remember it. I can't remember a game where he's played pretty damn good. Do you know what I mean? I'd be lying if I could remember. Now, Ben, I can name quite a few. I thought Ben Johnson at Everton away was decent this year. Aston Villa away, he scored. I thought he was decent this year. Really, really good. He's played some good games, Ben, this year. Tottenham, even, at home. So there's been some good games, but I can't remember the last time Coufal had a real standout, decent performance. And it's a worry. It really, really is. Chris says here, for me, on form, Coufal takes the spot, but if not performing, you have to go with Ben, who defends just as well and has more pace. Sorry, but 5. It's all 5. Let's just get here. Nah, I agree. I look at it with Johnson. It's an interesting one, but it's time for Ben Johnson. It really, really is. It proved it on Sunday. Like, to get subbed off after 60 minutes, like, was quite embarrassing, really. Like, you get absolutely like fanned out, and that is a worry. As I keep saying, it is a worry on both flanks. We've got no pace, and yeah, but that's, when I talk about the transfer window, that's a topic for another day. That really, really is. But yeah, listen, I'm going to leave it at that. Please leave your comments in the comment section below after this video is done, and tell me your thoughts. Like, what do you think? Like, is it time for Ben Johnson to come in? For me, it is. Like, I think Coufal's done good things at West Ham, but he's not doing good things this season. And I think he needs a bit of a reality check, maybe. Like it's time for Ben Johnson and rotate that right hand side, because we're not getting any joy on that right hand side at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Bowen's doing all the damage, granted, but he's doing a lot of work defensively also, when really he should be going the other way. So, yeah, listen, put your comments in the comment section below. Enjoy your Tuesday evening also. And I'll be back again at some point this week, hopefully getting a Newcastle fan on with me to talk about the game. Top man, the man who I hope to get on. And we have a chat about Newcastle. It's a big game Saturday. It really, really is. And if we can stop St. Maximin, we can stop them, which we need to do. We really, really do need to beat them on Saturday. Smash a like on the video. Also, please do subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. It helps me out greatly. I'm getting my numbers up slowly but surely. And check out Sunday's player ratings also, if you're new around here. I done a player ratings with West Ham Fan TV's lads, watch along lads, Jason, Dan Lawless with Mitchell. It was a good laugh, I must admit. We had some good debates and interesting topics, like about players and stuff. Flassage come up, Antonio, Ben Rama, to name a few. And yeah, it was a good chat. It really, really was. And I enjoyed that, because it's good to talk about different players and all that, and have a good debate about it also. So yeah, check it out on there. Anyway, that's enough from me. Take care of yourselves. All the best. And Dave, just pick Johnson, please, mate. Please. For our own sanity. Bye for now.